beautiful souls. We're representatives of global people's monetary system and simplified divine law, steering humanity to a better world of heaven on earth. Check it out on www.Gpms.world.
Imagine a world where every person is a shareholder of Earth's resources, where poverty and debt no longer exist. The Global People's Monetary System, or GPMS, is a new vision for humanity. It aims to replace the current economic system with a global model based on abundance and equality. With GPMS, every person has the right to a free home, endless access to money, and the freedom to live without the burdens of taxes, debt, and wage slavery. To make this vision a reality, GPMS is calling on people worldwide to unite, give their consent, and become a part of the change. Join the movement today and help create a world of prosperity for all. Visit Gpms.world to learn more and give your consent.
Greetings. We are on September 15, 2024. We are on North America Gpms.org meeting, and we have with us Rick Juars from Romania. Also, Emily with the friend Louisiana from the United States, Dina, United States, Francisco, Serhi, and I am Beatrice, Canada. I'm living in Canada. So, hello to everyone, and Rick, it's such a time that we just gathered after probably around 2 months. It was a work in progress also for the ascension. And because we know that practically we are so close of the date of November 15, 2024, just in a couple of weeks from now. Please, can you tell us how the ascension is working and what happened from the last time, from the July 7th, then we had the last meeting? Thank you.
Hi, Beatrice, and thank you. Yeah, what I wish to say again with the November the 15th, it is a very possible tentative date. It's not ascertained, not guaranteed for the implementation of GPMS. But this was given to I from Father that it's very possible on November 15th, which is exactly 2 months from today, weeks, if you will. Nevertheless, as we observe things worldwide, you know, how, let's say, restricted it's getting compressed upon individuals. And when I say restricted, I mean more compressed. What it's causing is a lot of civil unrest worldwide, and compounded by the natural disasters, which is causing a lot of havoc as well. So having said, these things are also movers towards the people taking action without I going fully into detail with how it works. So this is what we're still looking forward to. It's very possible. It's not ascertained. And believe me, I'm not one to give dates. However, this one come from Father that I'm to give that it's very possible that it can be achieved by then. And of course, when we look at when we look at GPMS going viral, yes, you know, really it could be achieved in a month. So let's see what occurs with it. Now, yes, we haven't set for about 2 months, and the reasoning, a lot of reasoning for that was that we had to leave things play out. With the ascension, there was a huge what we call sacral release process that was going on, that we needed to bring more of the divine vanguard to join, to take things forward. And with this, there was that process that was set out, and the sacral release process is essentially the release of the old belief systems to transition ones so that they could see and be rustled out of their not only their comfort zones, if you will, but also to begin to change their beliefs because they are needed on the front lines now as we take the ascension and GPMS forward. So it doesn't happen overnight, and there was a 10-week period of that. We are currently now in another 10-week period of energizing and enhancing the solar plexus, which comes after one's reconcile and has a shuffling of their old belief systems. Then it comes the empowerment, the embodiment with the solar plexus to be able to stand as a standalone beacon of light as well, not controlled nor hindered by negativity, fear, any of the outside negative influences. And this is what we need up front with GPMS. All the brothers and sisters stand shoulder to shoulder, unwavered in as we take this forward. And it's very important that we show our strength as we began to publicly put out with the panel 72 presentations, whenever that was, 2 months ago, perhaps two. We just, I don't, with time, it goes by so fast. So I don't take note of when, what happened, or what have you. But again, having said this, and I got a new computer and I got some notifications that are popping up. I haven't got that fixed up yet. So please forgive me for that if it's any interruption. So having said that, currently we're in a 10-week solar plexus process, which began approximately around the end of September or August. So we're 2 weeks into that. And it's about a 10-week process. So we got 8 more weeks approximately of it to go. And that will take us right to November the 15th. So having said that, again, what else can I say right now? Things are going amazingly forward as we see the Philippines are adding impressive numbers. We've also seen Uganda and Nigeria pick up. We've seen Canada and the United States again to begin moving a little bit forward, which is good. The UK, also on our website, we have made the provisions for the other sovereign group identities, which is so important to them and so important to GPMS as a whole, because ones need to also understand that upon Earth, it's not only every country. For example, if someone's from Canada, that they call themselves Canadian. No, for example, you have First Nations, and they don't consider a lot of them important groups as being Canadians. They are First Nations. So Australia, another one. They do not agree with be called Aborigines being called Australians. They don't identify with that. They don't recognize that identity because, again, that was imposed upon them by the system. It's not their identity. So they keep their heritage, and with that, the do no harm, if you will, the law of these things. And it is so important to have these sovereign individuals and groups to begin to come into GPMS. So, having said this, when you open up the front page, the table that we have with the individual counts of the countries. You'll see below another table that provisions the different sovereign identities worldwide. It's beginning to be populated. We had only did it perhaps maybe a week ago, if you will, but we are seeing Romani from Romanian, which is Romani is uh, another term for what ones would call nomadic gypsies, if you will, all over Europe. However, with them, Romani is a generic accepted identity, but nevertheless, it's beautiful to see one Romani from Romania come in, and the British Isles to bring in our beautiful brothers and sisters of a impressive group that is just beginning to come into GPMS now, and their identities is not Britain or from the United Kingdom. Theirs is they are the British Isles, which is so they're we've made provisions like this to keep that simple, and it's very important because it is the leading front of what was instrumental for GPMS to begin the sovereignty in the least. And what GPMS is the full uh, God sovereign free. And so what you are seeing is the sovereignty groups. They have been instrumental and have held the space for this time so that we can emerge all of the sovereign groups, all of the individuals into the full liberation of the God sovereign free, which is the GPMS world. So, without getting into the intricate details of it, I emphasize the importance of making provisions for these different identity groups and for them coming in now. So it's a very good. I'll stop there for a moment if there's any questions or anything you wish to say, Beatrice. It's chilly here. I'm
Yes.
shivering.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this introduction, and also Todd is here from Canada. Hi, Todd. And also the impact on the self-determination of the date of November 15. What could be the impact in general? How the people, so practically on this fifth dimension that the people started to say, yeah, are we so many group, for example, I was also in Romania invited to a meeting to participate practically to raise the consciousness, but practically raising the consciousness, it's inside of Gpms.world, and it is a lot and it is on the good way. So it's practically under the law of one, coming together as one. And exactly as you mentioned, for example, diverse group that they are saying, I'm not Canadian, I'm not Romanian, I'm not so this is true, but the name of the location is in change. On the panel 72 is written already the location name as today as Romania or United States or so. This will change for sure. They are corporation name given by the darkness, so this will change. This practically it's even not relevant. We are so mixed all over this planet, but the planet is our home. So what could be the impact on the ability to govern ourselves? So what could be the impact of this date, November 15, 2024?
Well, I believe what you're asking, if GPMS is implemented on that date, what I wish to say to operate the entire worldwide system for humanity, as I've said before, a 12-year-old child could do this for all of humanity because what you have at your disposal then is you have absolute, unlimited, unrestricted resource to unlimited money. And with that, you put it out everywhere, but not only the money, all of the worldwide resources where they need to go. And, you know, one doesn't need to be a rocket scientist, let alone a politician or an administrator, to figure this out. It's so simple. That's why I say a 12-year-old child, one, can do this worldwide. That's how simple it is. Wherever you need money, it goes. But what will occur as well, what everyone needs to know worldwide organically over the last decade, and a lot of them are not in GPMS yet, are administrative hubs and committees that have, even though they're not in GPMS yet, they are already constructed and organized to some degree. But I need to retract what I just said, because with the British Isles, they are organized and they are an example of a sovereign community running their area, if you will. So I need to say it's already coming in. However, they are one group of thousands, if you will. So when you look worldwide, at all of the regions and areas worldwide, the people have been preparing for this time. So what you're going to see is already prepared is administrative committees and panels for every region around the world. And they don't need to be trained, they don't need to be educated because they have resources and money at their fingertips. And you don't need a whole lot to do this. As I said, one child can do it for the world. And what we can say, at least, there's 12 in every region or what we call nations today that can quickly come together to be an administrative panel. So it is very simple, and the logistics of it all can be, for example, let's just say if I'm one to instruct an administration in India, it would only take me perhaps a few hours to say, all right, here's where you get the resources. Let's get an index. We'll have a worldwide index of connections to all the worldwide essential resources very quickly will be prepared. And that's what ones begin to access. You know, what do you need? Do you need a artesian well driller? If you need that, here's where we're going to get it. Money's no object. Do you need 10 of them? Whatever we can get, we share up. At the same time, unlimited money goes into the manufacturer of these. If we need more of these for deserts, what have you, then they come because money, again, is no object. And what I need to say is that the control and present use of money is what caused all the problems with humanity. So, simply by shifting the use of money for the benefit of all, it encompasses all of the solutions for everything worldwide. But even it goes into relationships because what it begins to do is it eliminates stress for everyone. So, you know, ones are not arguing and in competition any longer. They no longer have the outside stress upon them. So they become more happier, they become more harmonious, and this is what forms into the fifth dimensional state of being for the majority upon earth. And if you're to go on to the street anywheres in the world, and if you're to do a poll of 100 people, you're going to find that somewhere between 90 and 100%, if you ask them the question, what do they want most? And it would be peace and harmony. So we already have the majority. It's just getting, again, ones to realize that, yes, this is very serious. It's the most serious thing ever. And it is very possible and it is happening. And when you also look at the majority upon earth already believe in God, they've already been prepared within their religion, their scriptures, with prophecies, what have you. It's already been imprinted in there that this time would come. So very quickly, when they look at GPMS, you know, they should very easily recognize it, and they will. I think Emily has a question there. Thank
yes,
you.
just I wanted to thank you so much because you answer also to another question that was put on the meeting in Romania where I was. It was about the organization and worldwide environment to develop another international system. So this is not a problem because the people do not need to believe that there is only Trump or army or something like that. GPMS is here and the job can be done very quickly. Yes, Emily.
I don't have a question. I have some input. You know, to the Americans, to the American people, if they go and look at their documents from their government that was founded a long time ago, it clearly states that when your government becomes tyrannical, the people then have the power. I mean, it's literally written for us as the American population. GPMS is that government. We, the people, are the new government. We govern ourselves. And that's what GPMS is all about. We don't require things outside of us to govern us. And, you know, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and they were talking about the state and, you know, how we have to do this and do that and raise our children by these rules and that rules because the state. I said, well, the state doesn't own us or our children, and none of those laws are legitimate. They're all fictitious, man-made laws that are not a part of the divine laws of nature. And I just want to empower, you know, the people of America and the women. The attention that is snapping people out of it is when I suggest that we're shifting into a debt-free future. When I use that language, it's turning it all on real fast, and people are moving real fast over here. And I truly do see something changing in the United States that I've been working really hard for. So I just needed to input that Gpms.world is the new government that is being created in the United States to replace this tyrannical one.
And Emily, you spoke about the number 3888 in GPMS representative group. You let also message there.
Yeah, when it reaches 3,888 in the United States, it's the snowball effect is already occurring. You know, like Rick talks about the compression. Okay, I've experienced more of it recently because, you know, I'm working with my family dynamic and watching my children and grandchildren have to repeat the same cycles that I repeated. And I'm just like, no, that's it. It's stopping with me. I can't sit back and be quiet and watch my offspring go through the repeated things that I had to go through. We already learned all those lessons and we're moving up with the Gpms.world. And I personally am over the moon excited, but it's happening.
Yes, and also we have the date November 15 with us, 2024. So Rick, there is a lot of people because, you know, the internet is speaking about reptilians and everything. There are a lot of people that they started exactly as Bruno to share the message about the fact that many long time, because we were probably 13,000 years on the darkness system. Many years ago, they started to be part of the family, a sort of human form, but practically they are inside the reptilian, and practically some of them, some from us, for example, when the DNA will be told exactly what it is on the composition of the DNA, many will see that they have a sort of reptilian DNA, and the people are extremely scared. And exactly as Bruno already posted there, that practically this develop a lot of problem and everything. You just share in Gpms.world Romania group, you just share a message that I would like for all the people to see this message, because this is a subject right now, you know, that everybody started to speak about. It's only 1 minute, not more.
In 2015, all hybrid human reptilian on Earth, because the humanoid part of the hybridation contained a soul, were granted ascension upon the reptilian DNA being, given up allowing for the hybrid to become a fully humanoid vessel. Some reptilians were also given the choice to give up all of their reptilian shape-shifting DNA, and most reptilians surrendered and took this choice. There was a holdout rebellious reptilian group that did not surrender, and as they violate universal law, are immediately removed from Earth and interfering with the ascension. Rick Jewers. In 2015, all hybrid.
So what exactly is happening, and the people should be scared when a type of analysis will be on their DNA, and practically what will be the proportion of this reptilian, or how
No.
this manifests today on 2024?
All right. First, it needs to be understood that there is no problem. As I said in 2015 linear year, this occurred on a deep soul level, oblivious even to the hybrid souls themselves. But on the soul level, they had made the choice. So let me first say reptilians upon Earth and still today is very real. However, they're being taken care of, the rebel ones, by the off-world forces. But what had occurred is, yes, there were hybrids. And what you had found, and you'll hear many, if you have not already, that were in what they would call toxic, narcissistic relationships. But what had occurred as well is, without getting in to a lot of the nefarious plan, there was interbreeding by the reptilian with the humanoid soul. But nevertheless, as a result of that, there were hybrid children that were born. But again, divinely, as a result of this, at the deep divine level, because that's where it occurred, or where it occurs now, the resolution, it has already been all resolved. And what you see out there is remnants of the fear and the beliefs when ones begin to partially come into more of the truth, what had occurred upon Earth. But what I am saying, they are just coming into the truth. And apparently, what you're saying now, more of them are coming to find out that it's not a fear, that it's already been solved. And that's what this is about. And what I can say to everyone here, yes, reptilians are very real. And I have had one full encounter with a full-fledged reptilian that was fully in the reptilian form. And but nevertheless, without getting into that story, because I am divine, all of you here are divine. We are above the reptilian Draco races and what have you. The way the nefarious beings and reptilians and Draco content in the past they would put out, they wanted to make you think that you were weak, that you were lower than them. But that was their trickery, because they're part of the intent and darkness. But it's actually the opposite, what was true. And in this divine time of revelations and truths, this is the actual truth, what I'm giving to all of you and anyone who watches this in the future. So everything has already been divinely taken care of. All that you see out there is fragments of beliefs where ones think it's still real, but it's not, if you will. It's been taken care of. Um, what I what I wish to say to explain this. So, what occurred with any hybrid reptilian humanoid? What had to occur so they could ascend? They had to give up all of the reptilian attributes and go and choose to be fully humanoid to ascend. So they had to give up the shape shifting abilities and other abilities because, if you will, a reptilian brain could not evolve. It does not had the mechanisms in the DNA that was able to do it. So it was a divine covenant, if you will, that these ones, because they were tricked in to ill intent by the reptilian, that where they were tricked, it allowed for divinely for us to, with universal law, because it had already been breached by them, then divinely we were allowed to intervene and interfere with this, because again, divinity has the priority and is the omnipotent. So this is what occurred. So any hybrids, yes, had this choice. Now, any full-fledged reptilian that had a humanoid shape, when they shapeshift to humanoid, these ones had a choice. Every reptilian that was involved with a humanoid had the ability to give up all of the reptilian DNA, and it would be granted a humanoid position. And what they would do, they could ascend as well. Any of the reptilian that did not surrender and take this option, they were rebel holdout groups around the planet, around the earth. And what their notice, if you will, that was divinely given, is that at any time, if they intervened with any that was ascending, that they'd be taken, removed immediately from the planet. Having said this, there are very little of the reptilians left, and as every day goes by, there is less. So I think I answered that and tried to keep it as short as I could, and trying to refrain from going into the deep mechanics and again the intricate details of it, because it could be so lengthy. But one thing I can say is that the draconians, reptilians, zeta grays, all of these are very real. However, they are only fourth dimensional beings. All of the human souls are multi-dimensional, fifth dimensional, six, seven, and above. So it is through trickery that the ill intent, nefarious ones were able to enslave humanity. But in 2012, linear year, if you will, Father Prime Creator put his foot down. And it was the end that this ascension was going forward. It's what all of the souls at the soul level wanted, but it's also, while in your operating consciousness, that everyone wanted here. They had enough of it, and their prayers had been answered and begun in 2012, if you will, if that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, this is excellent, because many people started to believe that we need to discriminate those that they still that they are hybrids or something like. Then practically never self-determination can happen, a system of self-determination. Then we will remain forever on the type of the pyramid system that practically does not represent us anymore. We are already almost on the fifth dimension, so the pyramid system does not represent us anymore. And another part of the people, and especially also in the Orthodox Catholic Church, it's about the sin, that we are born with this sin, and we have to wait for the Jesus to come. And so I saw also that you said that we are not born with the sin. So what happened in the past, and are we born with this sin, yes or not?
No, for the simple reason no human soul has any sin, if you will. And you know, it is very important when you look what has been written 2,000 years ago, or let's say 17, 1800 years ago, but it happened 2,000 years ago. It's been documented into reality that, if you will, the Christ figure died for all of the sins of everyone that come after that period. So really, theologically and esoterically and divinely, there is no sins. The death of Christ eradicated all sin. So this is another trick, if you will, if anything tries to make you think you have sin. But also here, more importantly, going into detail, if you did do something that was a sin, it was tricked upon you by the current system. So you were enticed into it. It was not your fault. It's because of the system, if you will, what it had really done on the divine level. So this is all being eradicated and cleared even before now, that no, there is no one that has any sin. This is why, and I'll use this example. This is why you can and have had, let's say, a murderer that killed someone. Let's say they were on drugs and they killed someone. But what happened is that Jesus came to them. And the reason Jesus came to them is because they are a soul, and it was not their fault that they committed the sin. It's the sin is actually the current worldwide system. That is the root cause of all sin. So having said this, a redemption would be granted to this one because of the circumstance what involved it. For example, let's say it was a drug addict that was depressed, grew up in, let's say, the ghetto with no money and what have you, got into drugs to try to make a better thing. And, you know, let's just say something occurred that threatened that one. And and let's just say the one killed another. But the thing is, when you look at the root cause, what started it, you'll always find the trail back to the system itself, because the sin is the system. And what we are doing is eradicating that system, if that makes sense.
Yes, but on this situation, practically, we may not include like the people that they acted with ill intent using the system. So this is something a little bit different. So practically, they will pass on the new system, but they use their ill intent and they use the actual system to kill others, or you know. So there should be a little bit of looking on the situation. Another date that is very, very important for us, it's the date of March 29, 2025, when it is a very possible date to meet the first AT contact, to meet the Pleiadians. So what you can tell us a little bit more, develop on this date, and how may be, or if the date change or something happen, or the date it's already confirmed?
Yes, before I get to that, I just want to add on the past thing about sin. Ones also need to add into the equation that upon Earth, it's only about 6 billion humanoid souls. meaning that the other 2 billion orchestrate killing and a lot of these sins as well. But it's important to distinguish that there are those ones out there that are not divine. So yes, they be committing sin everywhere to make it look like that, you know, they are humanoid souls committing sin. But the real truth is, no, it's actually most, if not all, at this time of these minions that are non-human souls that are committing the sin. So you need to evaluate into the equation, you know, all of the information you have to get the accurate, most accurate results, and with the equation. With the Pleiadians, what it was given, whenever that was, about a month or so ago, it's on the partial eclipse of March 29th, that it's also very possible what is divinely set up for the first public Pleiadian contact with Earth. And the reason why this can occur, and why, again, it's very possible when you look at November 15th, if at that time that GPMS is implemented, what it means is that there is no more stress factor upon Earth, which is a density, lower vibration. So it is the opposite. The vibration is raised enough that it changes the density of creation that will allow from the other universes and other races that, yes, then the vibration of humanity and Earth is at least compatible with some of the closest universes, multiverses, and some of the other races. The Andromedon and the Pleiadian are two of the closest to Earth with the vibration. So they're able to come close, if you will, to keep it simple, to make this first contact. So if by November 15th, or let's say even January, or even February of next year, prior to March 29th, even if GPMS is that late getting implemented, really in the blink of an eye, upon the implementation of GPMS, the world at that point is really ready for the first public contact with the other universal races and beings. So, but this is what I was given, which is very, very good and very real. When I was first given it, I was given the next solar eclipse, and what occurred is I had, from Rick's logic, assumed that it was the annual solar eclipse, or on October 2nd this year. But I went and put out, it was, I had to correct the message later, what I put out, and I had to specify, no, it is the partial eclipse. So I was divinely instructed to do that. So great. I see Todd has a question.
Todd, you have no sound. Please open the audio.
Hello.
Hi.
How is everybody?
We are good.
Long time no see. So I've been continually fighting against the evil. I've been constantly, never-endingly fighting. I'm just going to lower my hand here. Let me start by saying, in my studies, so Rick, you're probably familiar with stuff because I do post on GPMS on Telegram some of the things that are happening in the world. In my study, I study the quantum physics, Fibonacci math, fractal math, eschatology, the iconography, the architecture, and the world, longitude, latitude of these rituals that the evil ones are performing and that are still performing to this very moment. So I have not seen a decline in the enemy's attack and their destruction of humanity. I've seen it actually get worse. Now, I just want to touch a bit about the eschatology side of things. Everything that you said is written in ancient scriptures, going back as far as seventh from Adam, and the book of Enoch had prophesied these things. Now it says in scripture that who shall loosen the belt of the Pleiades, the belt of Orion? And we know that the 13th house in the Meseroth is the Draco system, or the draconian serpent race, if you will. Now, in the Garden of Eden, we know of the serpent race infecting humanity. We understand that B'nai Elohim, meaning let us make man in our image, that there most certainly is a different species that is extremely malevolent still operating in this world. So I could confirm everything that you're saying. However, and this is a big however for me, I operate in truth and in physical evidence, but also in spiritual ordered communication, if you will, by watching all of the watchers. So I'm not a person who is for or against harpazo in Greek or in English rapture. However, there's a lot of people believing in the escape of this world and out of this evil system that we're in. Most people that I deal with and talk to understand the eschatology side of what you're saying. Can you reiterate and somehow confirm to the church believers, to the sleepy church, to the ones that are awake, how this would play out? Because in my understanding of eschatology, that the system that's going to come crashing down in prophecy is that there will be a new heaven and a new earth. So we know there's 7 heavens. We know that there's, in Fibonacci math, fractal math, and in quantum physics, that there's densities. I've studied cymatics. I've studied the Emoto water experiments. I understand that speech and vibration can harm humans and can heal humans. So I'm getting what you're saying. I'm combining what you're saying in a way, but I have a hard time relating and putting that in terms in which I can convey this with the what I would call Netzarim, the Nazareth, the people that believe that Yeshua HaMashiach came to earth to teach us these things. And so I believe that throughout history, we've seen these things unfold, that the malevolence and the evil that is operating the system in this world is extremely low vibration, because I've felt it. We see these chemtrails still taking place. We see this warfare still taking place. We still see all of our media, all of our food being poisoned. So please, if you can, explain to me when this will all kind of stop, because my prophecy tells me that Israel will be destroyed, that the enemy will be removed first and thrown into the fires, the wheat and the tares. The tares will be separated and thrown into the fire and utterly consumed. So if you could kind of put that in terms that I can understand and relay to my eschatology group and the group that is studying eschatology, if you could put that in some sort of timeline. And one final note in closing is my birthday is on March 29th, which is, of course, in the tribe of Dan, and in the celestial realm, the 88th day of the year, where you have 8, the sun making a figure 8 in the sky and the moon making a figure 8 in the sky. So these eschatology nuances keep on creeping up in not only my birthday, but these worldly events. So that's kind of 2 questions. One is the eschatology side of this sun, moon, and stars, the Meseroth, and how these timelines that you're saying are linked. And 2, how do you convey this message to the true believers in Yeshua, Yahushua, not Jesus or Christos, or what the Vatican would say on December 25th, this Christmas guy, this pagan holiday. Please and thank you if you could kind of address those two questions. Thank you. And I'm going to mute myself.
Yes, thank you, Todd. But before I fully answer that, uh, what I'd love to hear from you, you have studied everything and you believe what you have studied, it resonated with you. But my question before I begin is, what would you like to see happen? Would you like to see everything that you read about that seems like it was preordained? But let's say if you are God, what would you do? How would you like to see it play out? Would you have to follow a script of everything you've read, or would you change it?
Well, that's a good question. And so what I would say is this. I believe the enemy is using the Bible as a template. The Zionists, the ones that run this world and the banking systems, and they own everything. So I believe that they have corrupted prophecy. What I would like to see is what is called in the true Netzarim, or in the prophecies that were unfolding, is that we create a utopia. And we create a utopia by, as in the Bereshit prophecy indicates. So the Bereshit, in simplicity, is Bet, the second alphabet. It's we come out of our tent, and the Resh, the God man, by the power of his speech, by the power of an ox, and the speech, the working of his mouth, and the working of his hand, the Yod, shall leave a sign, the Tav, the ensign, the crucifixion. So these timelines, to me, in that phonic language, that Paleo-Hebrew ancient language, it resonates with me most accurately that we would recognize sin or malevolence, understand it completely, and then reject it as a people, as a whole. And I think we're at that process now where humanity is almost awake, and there will be this remnant that enjoys their malevolence and their power and authority over us that will have to be conquered physically to some degree. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I do see us creating a utopia and 1,000-year millennial reign in the mind consciousness, Christ consciousness, that if we in 1 Corinthians are the temple of Yahweh, and the Holy One dwells within us, and we are his children, then it would seem that it's going to take physical and spiritual prayer and worship and providence to make these things come about, because we do wrestle against principalities and high places. They're humanoid, they're not human. They're shape in the human, but they most certainly don't act humane, and therefore they are not human. And the only way that I can understand in my warfare and spiritual warfare and psychic warfare is to reverse that by acting in faith and in love and in unity, and literally disengaging in this matrix, so to speak, by not participating in their language, their necromancing, their spelling, spell casting, and their divination, and not giving these evil ones any thought or power over us, that we are the ones that are going to take this world back. And by any means necessary, I don't mean by malevolent action, but by prayer, fasting, and what I perceive is humanity already has all the answers. So we talked quite a bit in our last Zoom call about currency that depreciates in value, about trading and bartering, about free energy, about healing, and all of these things are available to us. I know that. I know that beyond the shadow of a doubt. the great healer had healed the blind, made the lame to walk, grown limbs. Every phenomenon that has ever been recorded, I believe to be real. So I believe in all of those processes. In my, how do I put this? In my spiritual, very narrow walk, I have seen this great love, this great divine forgiveness, if you will, this understanding that the entire world is under a great spell and that we are entering into the apocalypse, the unveiling. And I know that to be true. However, what I want is not as relevant as what the consciousness of humanity want, which is peace, prosperity, unity, love, all of those divine things that we already can put words around, but it's not going to come as easy as what I think. I think it's going to be culminating to a crescendo of great desolation and famine prior to that, because I think at this point, a lot of people aren't going to wake up until they realize what's at stake here. And a lot of people are still asleep. So I think we're going to go through a lot more before we get there. So that's what I think, and that's what I see. It's not what I want, but I just understand human behavior and what people are going through. And they seem to act out of malevolence when there's a food shortage. They seem to act scared and traumatized when their governments are tyrannical, and that the us against them communist color revolution is global, and the governments own all the weapons, all the technology, all of the poison that's being brought upon us. So there's a great fear taking place.
May I, Todd?
Yeah, I'm going to mute because I got background noises, but go ahead, Rick.
Thank you. I kindly wish to interrupt. It does not matter how big of military and how much poison is upon the planet. One thing that is fact, once one knows it, is that you are invincible and you are omnipotent when aligned with God. And, you know, I'd like to use as an example with an aircraft carrier, if you will, being just shut down in the Mediterranean. I'd like to look at the missile that was launched at Hawaii from a submarine off the Alaskan coast several years ago that vanished in midair. I'd like to look at many missiles that was fired in exchange back and forth between China and North Korea, if you will, that never touched the surface. They vanished in midair. And I need to say these things because there are many more benevolent forces than humanity is aware of. And what I also need to say is that all of the stories, throw them all away, only take the value from it. Because what is also occurring when you enter Christ consciousness, like the Christ, you create from the mind and from the consciousness and purity and faith and connection with Mother and Father God. And what is occurring upon the planet in this special time, let's say Christ did not come alone. This time incarnated upon the planet are many Christs, many Mother Marys, if you will. There are many representations of the Godhead upon the planet to ensure that this overall ascension gets done. And it depends, as you're saying, yes, a lot in the beliefs, but also when we look at the numbers, you do not need all of the masses awake. What I say when you use the very important analogy, which is accepted by any that has entered some form of enlightenment, they know that one enlightened one can influence about 1 million. So if you use that just as a relative figure, then this would mean where 6 billion human souls are ascending, that you only need 6,000 in the Christ consciousness united together that will lift it for the 6 billion. So there are many other divine things. Yes, they would sound fantastical to many. However, they are very true. As we go forward, I want to just jump back because with Orion, it used to be Orion. It is now Orion because it has been taken over that toroidal field by the Christ in preparation for the ascension. What ones need to understand is that the entire earth is going to go through this toroidal field. And to do that, it had to be taken over by the divine principle. So no longer is it a draconian port. It has been taken over for the light in December of 2019, linear time. So this makes a big difference in what's occurring upon the planet again. But there's been so much written. This is why I said, what do you want to see? Because what is occurring, we are the actual directors and writers of the new reality in the new movie. And the more that we focus on writing what we want, that's what we create because we are enhanced and endorsed by Prime Creator, Mother, and Father God. So why waste time fighting and energizing an old system and being distracted by it? Because that's what the darkness wants. They want to distract you and occupy you and keep you fighting them because they actually know you have the ability to create the new. So the longer they can keep you distracted, then their world exists and they keep you trapped in it. This is why the focus with those that are ready to know it and see it shifts and keep the full focus and attention on creating the new world. Now, as you're saying for the congregation in the Christian faith and churches worldwide, they have been prepared for this time that Christ would come, Christ would enact upon the planet the law of God, which is do no harm, and deliver them unto the full providence of God. And this is Gpms.world. So, what is it that any Christian could not see? This is the actual rapture. A rapture is an upliftment. The Great Awakening, the upliftment, the evolution in the human consciousness is happening. So, what is it that they can't see? It's been written. This is the heaven on earth that has been promised. This is the new covenant that is here now. Let all of the past go and recognize this is what you prayed for. It's what you wanted. Absolute providence, the deliverance unto the prosperity, the peace, the love, and the harmony. This is it. GPMS does it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to not be able to see this. And this is what I would say to them.
I've been trying. I've been promoting love and peace and harmony for quite some time. And I've been trying to wake people up and help one another. And, you know, in my videos that I show, like, just so you know, Rick, like, I can't show you the, because I got this background, silly background on. These, by the way, the background is the Northern Lights we took pictures of when the pictures were out. I'm sorry, when the Northern Lights were out. So I'll go back to a normal screen, but just so you know, what I've done is, let me just, if I can, now I'm having trouble. I've been promoting growing your own foods and vegetables and having an abundance of everything we'd ever wanted is right here. And that we need to take control of our own lives and understand we operate in love and unity and help one another. And so I've been doing that ever since George Floyd riots, I've been fighting the enemy. And I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say, you know, it's not me that needs to hear this, it's them. And when I say them, I mean all of humanity. I still see a great fear and a great um, uh, how do I put it, deception in mankind constantly. So it's not that a lot of people don't know it. It's just the language, I think, is restricting, because if you have a limited, for example, lexicon, or how do I put this? If you have a limited vocabulary, you have a limited way of expressing a reality. So Tony Robbins said it best. It says, if you only have like 5 words to explain joy, happiness, bliss, uh, euphoria, and then you run out of words, it's pretty hard to express pure agape or love. And so I think what we're experiencing is a lot of human beings right now have a very limited vocabulary and a visual context in which to take their paintbrushes and start building this utopia. You know, when you understand that the Rockefellers and Rothschilds had wanted to erase the word freedom from the human lexicon, then you understand how the enemy works, where by limiting your vocabulary or your understanding of our world, that you can't imagine a new one. And that a lot of these things are beyond our comprehension because they're just not in our lexicon anymore. So I'm a utopian.
What I, yeah, what I wish to say, in one's journey, yes, they come to realize a bit about linguistics and the spelling, if you will. But, however, at that moment, they can fall under the spell of the spell itself and not know their true power, that we actually give the divine definitions to the words. What the darkness will do, yes, with a word, they'll say it's a spell to it. But once you believe that there's a spell with the word, you fall under the spell and are controlled by that. So no, throw that all out. Know that you are the one that gives the definitions to the words, and we are in this time to do it. Now, I'm not coming from a pompous humanoid ego place when I say what I'm about to say now. I'm coming from the divine ego, my identity. And this is important. I am an ascension teacher and guide is one of my attributes. And what we do with that, and what I do, is to guide ones into their ability to co-create and manifest. And what happens with this is that there are two prominent layers of reality. There is the fear level that many are still in, and then there is this higher layer of reality where you go unscathed by any of the dark intimidation from the old system. So, what ones do, it's a very important, integral part of their process to be subjugated to all of the dark tactics so that they know it inside out. Then they advance when they're done with all of that, and they realize that by fighting is making them create animosity, keeping the dark reality alive. Once they come to that realization, they shift their focus and began to create the new. And with this, again, we don't need 2 billion people awake, 2 billion souls. We only need about 6,000. And actually, we only need a few hundred together. And again, the scientific principle of mass meditation works as an example. So it's not that hard to give to anyone, and everyone knows the power of prayer. In any of your congregations or any of the churches, they know that prayer works. So what we are doing is praying and bringing into existence Gpms.world. Put the focus on what we're doing. Don't focus on what this dismal 5% of the population upon the planet is doing. That is foolish. Don't focus on that. The longer you focus on that, the longer you keep them empowered to intimidate even more. We need all of the wise ones here up on top creating the new world, and know your power and believe me fully, and you will confirm it to yourself. Once you do this, you will see your reality change, and it will be confirmed and it will be definite. So we don't need to say that we're just saying this. It'll be confirmed to the individuals. And again, what I'm saying, we don't need the whole planet awake. You know, when Father gave me Gpms.world, I had to, in July of 2019, no, 2020, I believe it was. Yeah, July of 2020, I had to begin to write it, to put it to text, to have it integrated, seeded into this reality. So I put it to text, but I also was instructed by Father to put out a notice for the other co-creators that were following me or with me on Facebook, that they also saw it and knew it, because this emphasized it and seeded it. And then in December 17th of 2020 linear year again is when Father said, put it out now. And with that, you know, when if I was to take a human logical observation of the world, what Rick would have said, they're not ready. However, I trust fully in Prime Creator because of my connection. And I said, yes, good. I'm happy. We'll put it out. And what I'd say from the operating Rick consciousness here, I'd anticipated when Father said it's go time, it'd be done very quickly. However, it has taken longer to do, but nevertheless, it all holds true, and it has taken this long to get here where we're at now, but we are getting closer with, see, when every one that is higher consciousness comes in and unites, it's exponential, the effects upon reality. So what is actually occurring at the same time as the old is being more compressed? What is occurring, the ones that are ready are being ejected out of it and into Gpms.world. So congruently, at the same time, the destruction is happening as the construction is happening. But because the construction of one individual in GPMS is equivalent, let's say, to many hundreds of thousands in the old. This is one of the reasons why you see the majority still in the old, but relatively few in GPMS, because it doesn't take much with how the energy works. And once we hit this viral point, what it does, it affects all consciousness to rise upon earth to reflect the new reality. And this is what some will reference as a flashpoint. What occurs, everything changes. But without rambling, what I do give you is that there is two prominent layers of reality, two timelines. And as one graduates, if you will, from the other one, then they come up and then they join in with doing what we are doing, and it doesn't matter what they do, if you will. We keep our focus on this.
Awesome,
I don't
Rick.
know if
That's
that
it does help. I mean, every little bit of information helps. Just so you know, seen some stuff, very interesting prophetic stuff. I've been part of whatever is going on. I don't know to what level, and I can't really quite explain it. It's most certainly divine, to say the least. And so I would hope to work with you guys in the future and continue making this world a better place. So I wanted to thank everybody that's here. I don't know how many people are in the room, but I would like to say thanks, Beatrice, for getting a hold of me again. And Rick, Beatrice has my phone number. You can call me anytime. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I've got to take off, but I really enjoyed this Zoom call. This was a good one. And like I said, Rick, if you get a hold of Beatrice, you could call me anytime and feel free. And same thing with Beatrice. So thank you, Rick.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Brother Todd. And you know what I wish to say also, what Father said, and not only has he said it to I, once we were ready, he said, now go and gather all of the others. So with this, you know, what this means is that each one of us has pieces of the puzzle to bring together. And let's say in this respect, on how do we reach those ones that are not awake if we need to. So the many different perspectives and ways, once we are all informed with all of the ways, we are more productive as well for that. And again, it's not it's foolish, as we know, to shut anyone down, because it takes the collaboration as well, because this is part of the huge element that it takes us all. And this is one thing Father gave I with this. It's not to be done by one, it's to be done by all of you together, if you will. So that's why you know, I'm open to everything. And if you get something that works getting to the congregation of the churches, please let me know as well, so we can use it, and likewise vice versa. But you know, I just gave the blunt one that I use, because again, we have used many different perspectives, and it just seemed that very little would work. So then we just become very blunt and keep it as streamlined, and trust that, if you will. But thank you so much, Todd.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, yes, Linda. Yes, yes, Dina.
Oh, hi. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Rick, I was just thinking today about people, how people, if I think the issue with GPMS is the faith and the trust and their fear. And I was thinking, you know, I wonder how, you know, we could bring, you know, uplift or whatever. And then I saw these electrical lights that I'm not really good at explaining, but they look like electricity, and some of them are somehow intertwined with each other. And it made me think, if Father is sending this kind of healing to the planet to help people wake up and to get in alignment with their trust and fear.
Well, let me say, you know, that there is always divine things that are occurring that we may be oblivious to as well. But again, everything is ascertained, and this whole ascension and GPMS is divinely regulated from the higher level. So it's you know, we want it done right away, but there is the processes that are involved in it, but also these processes are confirmed through, you know, many that it occurs with. So we don't denounce or push anything away. It all has the value in whatever way. and there's many different levels of consciousness and many different audiences, if you will, that require, you know, one thing to make them have the eureka experience or the euphoric moment. And so whatever it takes, you know, I love it, and I don't wish to limit anything in that respect. So I know, Dina, with you, with your visions, because you're in our activation group, and I can attest for you that you're genuine and that it is very real, with the abstract and supernatural forces of God. You are a carrier of that divinity, and you play the role that you play. And again, it's all of us coming together. So with it, when I'm divinely given what you're seeing and what's occurring, I share it. But there are also times that ones are getting new gifts that I don't even know what they are yet. So then we trust and we go forward with it, if you will. But, you know, with this, when you were saying it, yes, the DNA is being very enhanced just over the last couple days again. And when you look at many, if you're to do an online poll, if you will, you'll see many with their sleep patterns and fatigue and lethargy, and you know, it's a common theme because yes, the physical vessels are being upgraded for many at this time because of the direct photonic light and the impact that that has on the DNA to evolve it, yes, forward into the crystalline. And having said that, Femke and I are two right here, you know, that can ascertain and confirm we got crystals coming out of our body. I just said to Femke this morning with different crystals, they're multicolored now. I got brown, I got red and gold and yellow. I didn't get any white ones for a bit, but they're multicolored, and it is very real. And I'm not the only one that this is occurring to, as many others can attest, you know, divine ones worldwide, that it is very real, that the humanoid vessel is evolving into that crystalline base. So it is confirmed by us that know, but to try to give it to someone that are not divinely ready for it yet, yeah, they'll reject it and change the subject or what have you and think you're nuts. But nevertheless, it is true. But thank you.
What I would like to add also for Todd, Rick wrote a message about the internet. Practically, when the love and positivity, you know, become the dominant force. So then we will see also those that they are not aligned yet with the love and positivity, they will start to align. So this is extraordinary, and I believe that what we share through the internet should be love and positivity. Then this practically will help also the people to raise their consciousness. So right now in Romania, they have the good military group. They have also this topic, rising the consciousness, and also to be in love and positivity. They challenged me a little bit with the negativity to see how I answer, but I'm extremely positive. And somebody said even, oh no, I don't believe that we are to the end of this war, especially 13 years old of darkness. Beatrice is too positive. So he's like, no, it's not because I am positive, it's because I see that. I'm not only positive just to share a positive message. It is because I see that. And another impact, because I was speaking on their video, and also I spoke a little bit before, then I told you, Rick, about the cell regeneration and everything. It was also a topic there that I developed. and there are already in 3 days only 6,000 views. So probably we should come together also there and tell them about cell regeneration and much more than that. And we know we were a little bit limited to the water fasting after 48 hours, that practically the cell regeneration may happen and everything, but not too much, depending. For example, Marian from Q, Romania, he was able also to keep the 40 days of water fasting just to regenerate the cell for the knees and everything, you know, just do not go on the surgery. There is a lot what is happening, and practically the people are waiting also the machine. Practically they are waiting, suppose the new technology that we know that is not new at all, the med beds, holograms and everything for the cell regeneration. But I saw also in your message a very, very important message that happens around the fourth dimension, fifth dimension. So how does ascension impact the cell regeneration? And practically, would we need this new technology coming? Can we regenerate by ourselves? I already made the affirmation that we will start to live in the future like hundreds and thousands of years. And the people said, wow. So this information also has to enter, and the people should start to take care about, because many on the 50, 60, 80, 70 years also that they are old right now, they are saying, I'm so old. So right now only the ascension may interest me as a subject, not the new system. But I truly believe so. The new system is like for the other generation, for the children, not for themselves. But I truly believe that it is for themselves. So what can you tell us about the impact of the ascension on the cell regeneration, and how should be in the future?
Well, what I wish to say to this is that right at this time upon Earth, not every physical vessel is advanced to the same degree, and neither will it be, if you will. What's occurring is enough of the crystallization process within the individuals to get them to the fifth dimensional state. Um, with the advanced ones, if you will, with the divine vanguard, the leading edge, uh, with ones with what you would call Merkabas, Kundalini, the energetics activated within them, they are multidimensional, meaning that um, they can stay on Earth if they wish, but they'll not be restricted to it, because the reality is we're dealing with dimensions, or, you know, like Todd had mentioned, seven heavens or what have you, but, you know, many different realities. But with the ones that need, let's say, the healing technology, new healing technology, that will be there for them. But it's also being used and held over their heads by some other narratives. And what I also need to say, for those that are in alignment with divinity and with God and with GPMS, your physical vessel is evolving. But what I also need to say is that what humans think of as death is not really death as well. Because what occurs is when some ascend, you leave the physical vessel here, and in the blink of an eye, in another dimension, you pick up a vessel or an avatar, whatever your soul wishes to utilize. And you know, with when we look at what is real and what happened with Mother Mary with her ascension, there is no body. There was no body. She took her body with her. That was the way she ascended, and also with the Christ, to show an example and have it imprinted at least what was possible upon the purification and the ascension. But let me say, to accommodate um, all of the different levels, that yes, there is the healing technology, the regeneration technology, but also within us, we are the med bed, if you will, ourselves as well, but others are not quite there yet that they can use them. But it doesn't matter with this, because again, when GPMS is implemented, all of the technology, healing technology, is owned by the people, mass distributed, no money involved. And also, we are at a higher level where even newer instantaneous technologies also is delivered, if you will, to humanity. So, what I wish to say, really, things will happen very quick. I don't even really see the need for any med bids, if you will, because everything is energy. And by having that higher stress free reality, it cures all disease, if you will, 99% of it, because disease can only exist in a dense environment. But when you have all absolute joy, harmony, and everything in love, if you will, there is disease cannot exist there, because everything has a charge of negative or positive. And we are going, if you will, to the positive oriented and predominant reality that will not allow disease to exist there as well. So you do have transitory timelines where it may be, but what I don't wish to do is to say that it'll be this way or it'll be that way. What I love is whatever ways are needed. If it involves two or three different ways, it doesn't matter. It's all going forward to healing whatever way that it occurs. But also, it needs to be understood that to keep um, part of the past mysteries of life intact as well, that some do ascend right out of this reality to another reality, leaving a physical vessel behind. But there's very few um, at this point that will be doing that right now. But things change. Things change in the blink of an eye, as we know when we look at many months ago, if you will, that at that certain time, because of the energetic environment, that it looked like only 2 or 3 billion human souls were going to make it. And then it jumped back up again to about 5 billion. So it fluctuates with reality as well. It's not per se that there's you can say there is a battle going on, but at the same time, you can say, no, it isn't. Everything is all preordained and it's already won, and we're playing out those roles. But at any given time, yes, things can fluctuate, but everything is divinely ascertained with the overall when we get there. So, what I'm saying, it doesn't matter how we get there, that we do get there. And let's just don't try to control and restrict anything. We want to keep all of the avenues open, and whatever is supportive of this new world, keep that there. It is a good thing. It is a good belief, as long as it's in alignment with the good free world. Because what is also occurring with the co creators is your beliefs. What you have is influencing reality at a greater impact. And what you wish to do is have the beliefs that take you to the heaven on earth scenario. That's what you want. You don't want anything that is transitory or in between, because if you do, then you are energizing and creating a transitory period which can stagnate things. So you want to go for the full cake and eat it too, if you will. You want to go to the highest what you want. if that makes sense. Thank you.
Also from a lot of comments, because I saw there around 400 comments on the video from Romania, the people are asking if we are already individual sovereign, why we need a signature with an entity? My answer was also that Gpms.org first of all is not an entity. They are not giving us signature or personal data. It's not much, just a name and location and practically a heart. It's even not a signature. It is a consent. And Gpms.org, it's a freedom instrument. It is a consent and agreement among the people of do no harm. Is to recognize the new world. So what should be said on this direction? Because they are coming right now, so many, and asking because they are afraid. So we have the fear aspect first at all, because they signed so many contracts and right now they started to understand what it is inside of the contract with the birth certificate and everything, with the corporation and everything. And right now they reject, they do not want to sign nothing. So it's like, and they are saying, oh, so GPMS is asking me to sign, but I am already an individual sovereign. Yes, but the point is GPMS.org is not an entity and the agreement is among the 99%. What can we tell them? Because they are coming in mass, and it was also frustration over a phone after a 5 hours conversation that practically the phone was closed on this direction. Because the natural law cannot be on this way. It asks you to sign a contract. So please tell us a little bit more, because this subject started to, to be very, it's coming all the time.
Yeah, well, the first thing with a sovereign individual, when they agree and consent with GPMS, they need to know it's not about them. They are already sovereign free, but they're doing the noble thing, if you will, to bring it into fullness for the rest of the world, for the future generations, for the children, for the rest of their family, to free the rest of their family, if you will, is one way to look at it. And, as you said, no one is signing anything. They're just putting an energetic mark in there to whatever they wish for it to be. But the importance of this is because we don't have time to educate nor awaken the world. So, what we are doing is comprising a bridge between divinity and the logical thinking through a ratification process. And once we have the majority to support the new world through the ratification process, it gets it done quicker. So instead of educating all of humanity on the truth, if you will, and to try to awaken them, we have given GPMS simply and logically for them, that they know the majority rules. And if you're to ask any sovereign, very few upon earth at this time will tell you that they are free, that they have their own system. Many will say that they're still subjugated to some degree to the control of the old system. So the actual truth is no, they are not God sovereign free. They call themselves sovereign, but no, they're not free, because the overall reality that they reside and exist in is not free. And this is what we're doing. We're creating the reality where everyone is free. So it can be in their selfishness to be a part of it. But no, what they'll find is that they're doing it for the good and the betterment of all. And it is one of the most moral, noble obligations as well that any can do, to stand up and be a part of it. Don't sit there and expect someone else to do things for you. So But did that answer it? I think there might be something else I could add, but did did that pretty well answer it, Beatrice?
Yes, exactly. It is, first of all, it is not a signature. And we are still not, even that will pass on the fifth dimension. It's the global consciousness that pass there on the fifth dimension, but it's not one by one. And we have to care
Yeah.
about all of the soul that are on earth. So we should pass
Exactly.
from this to go where we need. And as the number is growing, this show that many people are already in an international agreement. So this is
Yeah.
coming so on the direction to set up sort of that we started to be organized, and practically a new international system is coming.
So, also you can say to a sovereign one, all right, if you're sovereign, you know your power. Why not put it to good use to free the rest of the world? So, with that, there are so many things we can say. And again, simply with GPMS, we're just bringing everyone together with the one common goal to take humanity into the full freedom. So, who would not want to choose nor be a part of that? If they wish to be a selfish sovereign, if you will, what did they learn all their things for? Just their self, to be a recluse to the new actual God sovereign free world? It's again, no, I won't even go there. So it's like what Todd said. How do we tell it even to, he was saying with the Christian church, the faith, how do we present it? We can present it in so many different ways, yet they will seem not to get it. And we've even seen this, yes, with some of the lower um, great sovereigns just beginning to come in there, if you will. Todd, I'd like to hear what Todd got to say here. Thank you.
Hello, once again, I just would like to add to this. I use the phrase a lot. I'm speaking butterfly to caterpillars. And so when I talked about a currency that depreciates in value or a cooperative mindset, people had no idea what I was saying. And so I say, well, why have 10 farmers with 10 tractors when you could have one tractor for 10 farmers? That's a cooperative. And the same thing with a depreciative currency. Money is used like a shovel, and when you're finished shoveling, you put it in the shed. But we have taken money and food and everything in this world, and we hoard it. We hold it close to us because for some reason it gives us some sort of security, if you will. And when we talk about, me in particular, with people on my YouTube channel and on Facebook and on Global Freedom Party on Telegram, these concepts are so abstract to people, they cannot fathom. What do you mean you don't have to stockpile food? Well, there's abundance of it. And if we had no greed and we had an abundance of it, that you'll never run out of it. And so these languages and these concepts are going to be hard for many generations of people to comprehend because they cannot see us and the transition. And so I was trying to bridge that transition, and I've concentrated on the transition of concepts, of constructs that have been embedded into our lexicon and into our psyche for multiple generations. And so I would like to just kind of put this out there for you, Rick and Beatrice and others. I had a company called Tradesman Exchange, and I exchange tradesmen. So when I'm speaking to a plumber, I got to speak plumber. When I'm speaking to an electrician, I got to speak electrician. And so when we're reaching out to our brothers and sisters all over the world, we have to be able to morph into a lexicon and a language in which they understand. And so when I spoke of this, I meant to say that When I'm speaking to Christians, I call them Netzarim, not Christians, or churchianity. I'm not speaking to a group, I'm speaking to an individual, but that individual is part of a group. So I use the parables, because if you could imagine ancient texts describing modern day events of high frequency concepts to Neanderthals or ancient peoples, they had to speak in parables of farming so that the farmers understood what the concept was. So, for example, spreading the tares amongst the wheat. Rabbi, why is this seed bad? Did we were given bad seed? Why are the tares growing amongst the wheat? These parables that were given to our ancestors are profound, but they reach over many millennia and generation and languages and cultures to this day. So I would encourage you, Rick, and others that are in this chat to kind of exercise that ability to, when you're speaking butterfly to caterpillars, to maybe be flexible enough to change these concepts a bit, because it is a paradigm shift. And I honestly believe some of these things we don't even have a language to describe. So I've got to end it there, guys, because I do have to go, but I love all of you. I wish everyone here and anyone that sees this video pure love. And so I thank you for your time, Rick, and everyone, and I wish you nothing but blessings.
Yeah, thank you so much. You just closed the audio. It's correct, we hear you. So thank you so much and have a very great day, Todd. Yeah, so Rick, you know, in the last time what happened, and the people should be a little bit prepared. It's about that some videos started to penetrate also the reality, the actual reality with mask. We have housing 400 square feet for $10,000. We have Tesla new car, $15,000. That could be also a motorhome. Also for a $23,000 new one. And right now, also Tesla, it's working, Tesla Musk, it's working on the new motor, water motor, you know, I do not know if it will be for only one car or will be for all. That practically we should start to replace our, the part of our vehicle that practically the car will be working with water, and we are waiting for this for so long time. But at the same time, this is beautiful because practically the price will start finally to go down. We know about the biggest fraud on the back of the real estate. That is practically the money laundering, human trafficking and everything. And it's extremely high, especially in Canada, but also in all United States and also in other countries. So this is international event. And right now, what practically Musk is showing up that practically the price, it's just, it's like a portion of a fraction of the price that we should pay for this kind of stuff. And my question there was a little bit about oligarchy, you know, because what happens all the time during the pyramid system, the danger there, it's all the time the oligarchies, that practically the oligarchy form. And when the people are saying, yeah, Beatrice, you know, we can replace the bad people with the good people, then we'll have another system. This is not true. We are still on the pyramid oligarchy possibility, the oligarchy where the meaning is that few controls many, and this should do not happen, especially on the fifth dimension, and we are so close from the global consciousness as fifth dimension, so this cannot be our reality anymore. And practically we are during this danger, you know, and practically Musk right now, it's gathering also the Facebook, so we see media, we see two important what is recognized today as industry, housing and cars. So this impact, you know, when I question a little bit about this oligarchy, and practically my question was, why we should gather in only one hand, you know, a lot of power. This power can come also via political system, like the president and everything, or via the business, like is happening right now with Musk and everything. So what I get back, it was that practically it is about a new Musk, it's not the old one, and it's not really about any kind of oligarchy. So it's practically crashing the market. So the market started to crash. So the people right now that they had the beautiful housing and they were looking on Gpms.world that wants to give organic housing for free. They said, no, thank you. I have a lot, I have my money. I do not need that. Many, they are in need, but some they are not. So right now, during the flood time, many of them, they lost completely, practically their house was under the water for days. And another big tsunami is coming with these prices of $10,000 for 400 square feet. So from here, the million housing prices in Toronto, Vancouver, and everywhere in the world will go just down. So they will have not assets. What is the assets? This is putting also down the social credit, the China social credit. You know, it's practically we do not need this social credit because the people were not able to pay such amount to the banks because they had the very high mortgages and everything. And others believe that they have assets on the house. So via the debt that they had, for example, a portion of that like $100,000. Yes, but I have 1 million on my house. So I am balanced somewhere. Right now, they will do not have the 1 million on the house. So what they will be doing on this 3-dimension system. And the tsunami is coming on the prices. So it's just coming. Right now, we know that it's not absolutely not like on Gpms.org that is giving for free. And the tsunami is coming and there will be also competition on the, this is making also the competition and for the prices regarding the companies in the construction, you know, the 2 industry, housing, car and everything. And also this will touch also the insurance industry because the insurance, you know, has to go down because the price right now, the price on the assets is going down. So the price on the assets with Gpms.org on this kind of assets becomes zero, but you will have the beautiful assets in the world on your name for free. So what could be the choice? So the people still, they choose a little bit to have like assets. So their mind is still functioning on the actual system. And this is coming. What should be addressed from Gpms.org? So my understanding is clear. Move on the way where the administration can be formed and can give you a housing for free. From the beginning, if you had the flood problem and everything, until we have the possibility to rebuild the earth again, everything in organic and everything for free. But, you know, the way that they started right now with Musk and everything, this will make other problem because the people on the car industry, on the housing industry, also the real estates and everything that they are working for commission. So all these jobs will be almost gone. So this create another, you see, when you are not coming with a correct system from the beginning that is giving you the money and everything, and you come with an intervention on the system, even that the intervention is on the good way. So this create another problem inside of the economy and practically another kind of suffering, even that you want to make good. So what can you tell us, Rick, about?
Well, again, just utilize the common sense for a minute. Let's take, you brought up a very, very pertinent point. Thank you, Beatrice, with this. You know, when you look at one saying, oh, they don't need money, they got $1 million house, so they got the equity in the house. But as you quickly said, when one looks worldwide at the unprecedented flooding, and also in the past, but it's becoming more prominent in the southern hemisphere now, more of the fires. When you look at with insurance agencies and in Canada, if it's an act of God, your insurance does not pay for your house, if you will. They'll pay for perhaps some personal belongings or maybe nothing at all. So having said this, in the old system, you could lose everything in the blink of an eye. Ones don't realize how vulnerable they are, thinking they have assets and equity. Again, you need to look at what's occurring with the worldwide environment at this time. But also, when you compare it to GPMS, and you have a free house, and if a flood did come, you got it replaced fully instantly. It could happen a flood 10 times, but you'd always have a free house. Now, when you look at Elon Musk, if you will, yeah, sure, these great deals, 10,000 for a house and what have you, but where are the people going to get the money for it? This is the thing. This is why Elon Musk and what he's doing cannot even compare again with GPMS, because what it does, it provides the full financial security and comfort forever and ever. You know, anyone can offer a fantastic price, but if there is no market for it, if no one has the money to buy it, it does no good for humanity. And when we look at worldwide, um, with financial insecurity, which means that ones are living from day to day, if you will, and does not have any savings, they cannot afford to buy all of these things. Yes, they could begin to downsize, but where is that going to end? Constantly sell a house for $20,000 to buy one for 10, and then you don't have money to survive off, then you got to move into a cardboard box. Again, this becomes very nonsensical with the thinking. So very, uh, so with that, again, how do we give it to them? Well, you just give it to these ones with common sense. And, you know, currently here in Europe, most of Poland, or a big degree of it, is flooded, unprecedented flooded, mass destruction. Here in Romania, many have lost their homes. It's raining now with more rain on that devastated area. There is a disaster zone declared in Austria in one area, the northern part, perhaps two as we speak. So you got the Czech Republic as well. A lot of that is underwater. This is unprecedented. And Italy in the past, but now Italy, to my knowledge, is beginning to be bombarded. Or will be. So what you're looking at is these natural disasters is actually caused by the stress energy of the people. And as long as the old system is intact, you're going to have more and more of these natural disasters. But it's also not to exclude the abstract force of God and what is occurring again with on the planet, for people to make the choice and to make it as soon as possible to avoid a catastrophic ending. It is all avoided, but it needs to be said that GPMS is the venting system that allows that, you know, ones don't lose everything, if you will, that you gain everything actually with GPMS. So it doesn't matter if Elon Musk tries to buy the people and buy the world, uh, it still cannot compete nor compare with what GPMS does. So it's a no It's a non-meaner. It doesn't have any relevance or bearing upon it, as you're seeing. Because again, yes, he may, let's say Elon Musk, offer a car for 15,000 or a house, but if people don't have money, what good is that going to do to them? And when you look like in the US right now, with rents have increased threefold, more and more um, being evicted, if you will. And also, what is coming for the U.S. is a lot of flooding as well, if it has not already begun, which is going to add to more devastation to the people. But it also has to occur to wake them up to know that they're at the mercy of a system that does not have good intent, and they have to make the choices, because there will be no other choice but GPMS inevitably. So why procrastinate and simply make the choice now? It's, it, for us, it's absolutely ridiculous for uh, GPMS not to be gone viral yet, because it becomes the most sensible choice. And again, we don't have time to educate everyone worldwide. And what we just say, we know how to do it. Come on. If you want it, just agree with it. It's just like a poll for those that don't need to know or that can't even understand everything. So it becomes a simple choice for them to be a part of it and help make it happen quicker. But I'll stop there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Since July 10, 2024, I share around 4,000 cards, especially in Calgary, even that I'm living in Red Deer. And practically the main question was how we start GPMS. So from this system, because even the people that they wanted to know more about GPMS, and they are saying, I'm on the left side. Okay, left and right, about the political system. If you are on the left side, or if you can see more on the left, so less competition and more cooperation and everything, this is on the way of GPMS, but you are still not inside of GPMS. So they cannot see how we are above the government, how we can come to an end in the very short time, even that the people gathered. They cannot see that. So their mind is still blocked inside of the system, where practically it is the darkness matrix. It's the circle, so bring up another one that it's a good one, and practically he will be doing. So this is the main situation. And I saw also this question also coming from Romania, and also another one. And the last one, it was practically, we are not able to understand each other in Romania. How we can be able to understand each other if we open the border and everything? And when I share my message from Canada, that we are so many culture, we coming from all over, so because they are saying America, so it's another continent. What can happen here? But your mind has do not be set up on this way. This is the rising consciousness and everything, so it's the law of one. So this has to start to enter, especially in Romania, because in Canada, in the United States, we are more on this direction, because we are coming from so many continents, and to the first generation, second generation, third generation, etc. So here we are even not asking that, because we know that we can help each other and we pass through. But in the countries where they are still like recognized among them, like 80% or 90%, they are Romanian, or they are Bulgarian, or they are, they're thinking it's not appropriate to the law of one. So this is another, and the people are asking also, what it is this law of one? So please, can you tell us a little bit about the law of one, and how, if the people want to raise their consciousness, why we should know what it is the law of one and started to be involved with the law of one and universal law.
Well, simply the law of one is all coming together as a community with no selfishness, no competition, no greed in it. So what it becomes is the service to others. But what occurs in this reality, the service to others is reciprocated, always back, uplifting all. So it's not a separation system that has different classes. It's not a separation by beliefs, by competition, by greed. Everyone is equal in it with their own choices. And this is the law of one, but also with the full morality, which is the law, the right things, to do the right thing and to support the right thing. An example of why it is not the law of one now is because most of humanity is supporting a system that is inflicting great harm upon humanity and causing many deaths worldwide every day. That is not moral to support that. It's actually criminal. Everyone is actually an accomplice to a very serious crime by supporting this old system that is doing it, while the new system is here that is fully moral, that none of this exists in, nor can it exist in. So again, the law of one is bringing all together to do the right thing and to not be separated and segregated by these lesser things that belong to the dark system, what is currently here, to keep it, to give it in that perspective, if that makes sense. You may wish to add more about it, Beatrice, because you're more informed on how it's written as well. But I tried to keep it as simple as possible with this perspective, simply doing what is right. And everyone knows in their heart, most know in their heart what is right. And I love what Brother Lee has said in the past. We don't need this written, because if you take an individual, if you go to someone's house, you don't have written on the side of the door all of the laws and rules of how to act. You already know it. It's in here, it's intrinsic. This is morality. You know how to behave, the majority of the people. And it's the majority of the people that's going to create this new world. In the ones that maybe don't know how to act, what will occur is, if they're going forward, they'll be assimilated into the way that they will know how to act as well, because the current system that causes all of this irrational behavior is eliminated. Then you only have rational community behavior in this new world, with everyone contributing and working together to the respect that they need to. And again, not like they did in the old system. You only need to work enough to provide the essential the logistics of the essential goods and services, which does not require everyone of the working force to work 40, 60, 80 hours a week. It only requires perhaps 10 hours or less. This brings all of your family units back together. It gives you your life. It gives you more of your freedom. It gives you more things to enjoy, to pursue your passions, what you are attracted to. It's your full freedom and liberation as well. What comes with this law of one? It is your God sovereignty. It's all of these good things. The God's yeah, the God sovereign free, if you will. Yeah, and you're not controlled by a dark system. I'm listening. I'm going to make a coffee, but go ahead.
Yeah, so practically we are already at 2 hours, and I want also to thank you to everyone that is here, and also to the Romanian good military group that already received GPMS, received me first on a meeting, and much probably also Rick will go there. And all we can hope it is also that all the military, the group military around the world will reach Gpms.world, and also we can come together with white hats one day. We never know, there is a hope. Because they want to do the good things. This is clear, but the way that the things are doing, they are still not coming on the way of exactly on the way of Gpms.org that practically protect the people first. So and also with this oligarchy that even right now, if we have the good people, but in the future, the oligarchy may form because of the pyramid system, also of the artificial law, there it's a problem. It's not the divine law and the artificial law that change all the time, but the divine law that never change, it is only one. We have a reference already. So there are short things that we should agree on, only few, and big, but only few. And in general, the people wants to do good. So right now, how we can do good for all of us and do not create other problem inside of the actual system and get rid of the actual system and create one that protects the people from the beginning. So this is something else. If the other people wants to here wants to add something, because we have already 2 hours and probably 5 minutes of meeting. Dina, Serhi.
I'm good.
Okay, so Serhi.
Oh, I'm okay, thank you. It was nice to listening to everyone. Very pleasant to be here. Yeah, we hope everything's gonna be okay by the time, by November 15. Anyway, if any like lower timeline gonna happen, like some arrest of the elites or whatever, it has to happen or not, it doesn't matter. We'll see what's gonna be. So just enjoying the time and just hoping for the best.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much. I will be waiting a little bit, Rick, if you want to add something for this meeting.
Well, yeah, but I'll just say quickly, all of these goodwill ventures worldwide, including white hat contingents, they have to act now and do what is right. The amount of children dying daily is increasing, and with every day that white hat components hesitate, the numbers of children and also adults is growing more and more. So GPMS is the absolute divine solution, and it's time to get aligned with it now. No more waiting, if you will. And this needs to be done, but not only for the white hats, all of the sovereign groups worldwide, all of the sovereign nations. You need to come together now so we get this simple worldwide treaty ratified and enforced so everyone is free and abundance in harmony and love. So that's what I wish to say to keep it simple. Thank you. So Beatrice, and so what we anticipate perhaps Monday evening at 8 o'clock Romanian time. I think that is, what time is that in Alberta? Is that 1 for you or is it
Probably,
noon?
yeah, but this is not important, the time. So this is tomorrow.
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so Wednesday around noon Alberta time. Eastern time, I think that would be close to around 2 p.m. What we're going to do is with Wandera and the Alliance group, we're going to have a recorded Zoom where the money for to be given to the orphanages, we're going to do that and record it as a goodwill venture. We're not going to identify by name unless he wants it. But I think it would be a great idea not just to say a good divine brother has stepped up, because
we
again,
cannot say at this time, but in the future will be told.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So to do that, but we're going to record it because there is, in Uganda, and not only Uganda, other places around the world, you have a lot of exploitation, and it's really not their fault. It's because the system created it. But having said that, we got to keep a strict guideline on how we do everything. So that's why I said we'll do a recorded video. And no, we're hosting it, not them, because we're recording it for transparency. And we are going to say, all right, we have approximately $2,100 that we're going to provide a meal for all of these children which need it with the orphanages. There's about 70 orphanages, but the food there is very cheap. So with each orphanage, they'll have enough for one good meal for the children. And so it'll be split up per capita equally, which means if there's 30 children and 2 directors in an orphanage, then each one of them will get $32 approximate. I know it's not much, but what it does, again, it provides a good meal with a sauce and extra things, I believe, what Wandera had said. And this is a goodwill gesture for this, but more importantly, it's and I'm so grateful that the Divine Brother stepped up to do this, because it's more about energizing more support from, let's say, the philanthropists, and get them come on, temporarily assist these children that are in need so they can make it, to the new world, because they are genuine children. They are innocent children. And what I wish to do with it is we need to make it clear that it's not coming directly from GPMS. It actually came from members, if you will. And that's the way it needs to be, because again, GPMS, the main integrity has to be kept intact. It's not a fundraising organization. However, this is to show that GPMS is genuine, that we are sincere, and also to open up, let's say, more avenues of support. Go ahead, Sergey.
For sure. Thank you so much. And yes, for sure, we will have a meeting in a couple of days. Yes, this will be just amazing.
Yeah, okay, guys. Just let me know when it's gonna happen.
On Wednesday, I will share the link, Serhi, also in Canada and everywhere, for the people to come.
Where will you be at on Wednesday, Sergey? What time zone do you think?
I believe that Serhi is frozen because of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out what time zone he is.
Yes,
in.
for sure. This is not a problem. So this is just amazing that we had the North America representative meeting today, and just see you soon. And for the representative, if they want a meeting, they just need to ask for. Thank you so much to everyone that can see this video, and please share this one. Thank you so much. Have a great day and see you soon.
Yeah. Sergey's back, Beatrice.
Yes, Sergey.
Okay. Oh yeah, I just back. I just said.
It's about
Do they
Wednesday.
have yeah,
Wednesday,
I can
probably around 1 p.m. Toronto time.
Okay, sure. We'll talk about Wednesday. Okay, no problem.
All right, brother. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Much love, light, and gratitude.
Have a good time.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you as well, brother. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.